Good morning, everybody. Orange J here with another War of the Visions video, and today we are going to take a special peek at the Dragon Quest Tactics collaboration units. We are getting all 3 of the units this first week of the collaboration. They're not going to spread them out over time. We're going to get the units this week. We're going to get the vision cards next week. So, do you want to pull for any of these units? One of them, the one you actually don't have to pull for, is a very, very unique little blue blob of a thing, and that's where I think I want to start with this preview. I want to talk about Slime. Now, Slime, you will get him by playing like the first collaboration mission. You're just going to receive him as a reward. And then all of his leveling material, like his mind spheres, shards, you're going to be able to farm all those out. So you don't have to spend any Visior to build up the Slime. What is special about this thing? Because you can see on the screen, he only has one job, and it is Slime. So let's talk about why he's special. First of all, he's cost 20. We only have one other cost 20 unit in the game, and that's regular Zazon. Slime, I think, will be much more impactful to this game than regular Zazon. You're going to see Slime around in PvP, especially cost-limited PvP. At 20 cost, he essentially opens up any team, whether it's like a 220 cost unit only, you can go double 100 cost with Slime, or if it's like some total cost, including vision cards and espers, 20 cost on a unit really opens up your options. So I think you're going to get Sea Slime everywhere. Another thing about him is he can wear everything. All weapons, all armors, he's good to all of them, which also means he's going to be a very good cost-limited unit if you're starting to build teams around those weapon-specific vision cards. You know, the not mono-element ones, but the ones where it's like, oh, spear, bow, glove. He can wear all of that stuff, so he gets all those vision card buffs, making him an especially versatile member of a party. And at only 20 cost, he's also holding 2 vision cards for your group as well, buffing all your other units. He's going to be really cool. Now, Slime Robe, the Trustmaster he comes with, is an armor, very poor stat line on it. It does have some unique resists on here. I could see this being situationally decent in some like PvE where you're getting charmed or frostbitten or blinded or something like that. His master ability is all about survivability, 30% HP for himself, and 50 slash resistance. Yeah, you read that right, 50 slash resistance. Let's take a look at our dude's stats right here, and I'm going to compare him to the only reasonable thing, I think, regular Zazon. So here's Slime on the left, regular Zazon on the right. If we look at them, Slime, a little less HP than old Zazon, but has more attack and way more magic. Slime is a hybrid attack and magic unit, making him a little bit harder to tank, although both of these stats are pretty low. Now, he is much faster than regular Zazon. 56 base agility is a lot higher than Zazon's 42, so he's got that going for him. Now, Zazon has move 5, jump 3, which is insane. Slime is a move 3, jump 1 guy. Both their dex and luck scores suck, so you're not going any dex or luck shenanigans with evade or sure hit or anything like that. Let's look at resist though. Slime has 80 slash resistance, so with just a 20 slash resist vision card, he is at nullify slash. Now, yes, there's a lot of penetration in the game, but that is a use for him. If you happen to be fighting some slash heavy team, they're not going to be able to slash him down with just one move. Now, he's weak to everything else, minus 10 right here, so only slash is he strong to, but Zazon is neutral to everything and just super weak to magic, so I got to give the edge to Slime here. At least he has something going for him. He's also going to be weak to earth, and then there's really nothing special down at the bottom of the stat page. So that's what Slime's stats are going to look like. But let's look at his kit. Like, what can Slime actually do for you? Well, some really interesting things. He comes in with courage, so he can have a 200% chance to ignore fatal damage, which is courage, and he only has that when his HP is above 90%. Now, with such a small HP pool, he's somebody who's going to get one shot quite a bit if it's not slashing damage, so he can nullify slash, and then if he gets one shot by like a magic spell or something, boom, he will courage that unless they courage remove him. So this is a nice way to keep him in the fight for a little bit longer. He can also go a fire or ice resist build. He can upgrade a skill, which we'll look at down here, or you can run slime power, which actually decreases his attack and magic when his HP is above 90%, but gives him a lot of fire attack, a lot of lightning attack, and gives him defense and spirit pin. So if he's sitting at above that 80% threshold, which is where he gets these buffs, he might do some damage. Not a ton, it's the slime, but he might do some. Okay. EX buffs. He actually gets 4 EX buffs, and then we can also look at Hustle Secret getting, or Hustle Dance getting that upgrade +1 as well. Okay, let's look at his damage moves first. So hit. This is a 15 AP move. It is striking, scales off of attack, and it upgrades to decrease defense before hitting. So a nice little 30 defense debuff on there for the slime with 10 uses. Hey, he can go slime somebody for a little bit of damage, and you're feeling pretty good about that defense debuff if it lands. He can drain. This is 165% magic scaling lightning move, decent range on it, it's Dane, not Drain. It has a 25% chance to inflict Paralyze, so maybe he can drop a status effect on somebody. Now, he has a really potent agility buff that upgrades to be an AoE group buff. This is definitely a use for him as a buffer, either with Trust Masters or with his own kit. 25 agility AoE group buff is nothing to laugh at. He has a 70% attack buff. It is single target and only range 1, but he can walk up to a DPS unit that you're running him with and say, boom, here you go. You have a 70% attack buff. That's no joke for 3 turns. That's nice. He can also give himself a self-heal when his HP drops below 50% to, again, help him stay in that, in that maybe courage range, so he can pop his courage. With his HP has to be above 90%, so that's cool. He has a fairly hard-hitting fire magic move. 240% modifier is pretty good, and it hits in a line-based AoE, so he's got that going for him. He has a heal, which gets upgraded if you run the Hustle Dance upgrade from his support ability to a 70% heal. Not the best, right? But it is something he can bring to your group. If it's like a limited cost Guild Wars and you kind of want somebody dropping some heals at the beginning of a fight, he does have access to a little bit of healing. Then he also has essentially Revive, not full life with its really big chance to hit, but Revive, 50% chance, 30% HP for the target. Not too bad right there. That's his kit. He has no sub-jobs, so that's all he's bringing. He's really going to be a character for cost-limited situations that can hold 2 vision cards to buff the other members of your group, which is really nice, and provide that little bit of support with either another Trust Master buff or his own kit buffing. And you know what? He unlocks group. So I think you will see Slime in cost-limited in Global for a while. He's probably like the most impactful unit from the collaboration. Maybe? I don't know. Let's talk about the other ones. Next up, we've got, whoop, I was on the wrong bit here. We've got Pizarro. Pizarro right here. Magic Swordsman Pizarro. Now, he is a fire evasion unit. You do not have to build evasion units for evade, but I do believe that is what his role is meant to be. He's a 90 cost with move 3, jump 2, Demon King, Samurai, Trick Lancer. His Trust Master. But we'll look at his stats and all that in a minute. Let's start with his Trust Master though. I think it's really, really good. It's cloth armor with defense, spirit, agility, and evade on it. Really like the stat line, especially the agility and the evade here. The buff is also very good. It's self-haste that drops aggro by 6. So a very, very useful TMR buff right here. Unfortunately, at only 1 cast, it's not going to be as impactful for like a Guild Wars situation as it could be, but I still think it's very good. His master ability is the HP and fire attack buff for his group. He gains slash attack resistance penetration, slash attack resistance penetration, and acquired AP up 30 for himself. So a decent master ability. Again, still he'll be waiting on that master ability too. And critically from this point forward, we need to mention when these like bigger ticket units are missing their dream upgrade. Because if you wanted to compare this man to something else, I think the comparison would be to Yuffie, the future of fire evade. If Pizarro here is bringing fire evade up a little bit, like maybe you run him with like Sweetheart Ildira or something. I don't think fire evade's going to be a thing yet, but let's say you want to do that. Here's the future of fire evade. It's Yuffie. Would they pair nicely together? Yes, they would, but let's compare their stats. Now, for this stat comparison, I have Yuffie at level 140, which you could just get super easily after 120, but I did not put any of her dream stat upgrades in, so I'm not actually buffing any of her stats. She's essentially just getting the Master Ability 3 that you get through the Dream upgrade system, which everybody's going to get. So let's compare their stats. HP wise, Pizarro at 4082 is higher than Yuffie, so that he's got that going for him. And at 587 attack, that is also pretty nice compared to her 537. Now, she does have more agility than him at 72. She is really, really fast. He's at 68, which is fast. It's not bad. It's like low end of fast, so you'll take that. His luck at 268 is less than hers. You want as much luck as you can if you're going to dodge. She's move 4, jump 2. He's only move 3, jump 2. Like, overall, I would say if you're running an evade unit, I would give the edge to Yuffie right here. And then keep in mind, if you were going like all in on fire evade, you could in theory boost Yuffie's stats up to something like this through dream upgrading and resetting her. I don't know that anybody's going to be doing that, but you can get her stats way up there through the dream upgrading system by like doing those resets. I think you're more likely to see this version of her than you are to ever see this version, but something to keep in mind if you wanted fire evade to be like the future of your account or something like that. Now, also, you want to look down here for like evasion or luck or something like that in their master abilities. Pizarro has crit, slash resist penetration, acquired AP. Yuffie has a lot of crit, some evade, which is nice, crit damage, and then penetration as well. So they're similar in the stat pools, but what kind of buffs are they going to bring to enhance each other's evade, and how does that kind of compare? Well, let's look. We'll start with support abilities. For Pizarro, anger. This gives him 50 reaction block rate, but only when his HP is below 40%, and then 200% chance to increase his physical damage by 20%, but again, only when his HP is below 40%. I do not like this. Like, my initial reaction to this support ability is that it's not very good. It's just like, how do you plan on being below 40% HP? Are you planning on like re-raising and getting your courage procced or something like that and then just being low? Don't love it. I do like Soul Caliber on him. This is the samurai one where you get a Tact steroid evasion buff with the defense debuff. A very small defense debuff of 3, easily made up for by the increase in attack and evasion rate. So I think you're going to run this one almost all the time on him, especially if you're going evasion. I also really love this one, Mikawa's Secret. It's missile and magic evade 25. 25 evade is a lot, and that will stack with this regular evasion if you're getting shot at by missile or casted at by magic. Also, agility, a super important evasion stat. This is a top tier support ability for an evasion unit, especially a fire evasion unit who will spend a lot of time in arena, on offense, and guild wars fighting ice teams that are heavy into missile and have some good mages in there like Velis backing them up. So I do really like Mikawa's Secret. He has knowledge of the Trick Lancer. I love this one. Defense pin, critical rate 25. This will just up your damage a ton. It's really good, but how could it replace one of these in an evasion build? I don't think it could. I think if you're going evade, you go all in on evade, so you run these two, but if you're going with like just maybe an anti-ice build, you do maybe these two, or if you're not going evade, you could go here and here. We'll see. And then he has Unfathomable Spear Throwing Technique, which is an accuracy buff. So if you're going anti-evade, and then it upgrades your throw to have a lot longer range. Okay, now, for his counter abilities, Magic Swordsman Fighting Spirit. This is if he dodges, he will 100% give himself 20 defense pin and 30 slash attack resist pin. If you're running him evade, I think this is awesome for upping his damage. Mind, this is a 20% chance to increase his evasion by 10. And then counter trick is counter pierce. It's colorless pierce attack damage with range 3. You gotta watch out with this one. You can end up poking your teammates in the back. Okay, his kit. Brand new unit, so brand new kit. What do we got? His cheap move, Hayabusa Slash, is a low modifier, only 121%. He scales off of attack, dex, and agility, so good scaling stats there for an evade unit. It is a 2-hit move, so remember that. He has access to 5 uses of a 2-hit move that also decreases accuracy for the target. I think that's really interesting. There could be some situations late in a fight where he's low on AP, and like a one-on-one situation against somebody who's stacking accuracy, he could drop it by 25% for them. That's nice. Now, this next one is very, very good. Mikawashi's Initiation. It's 25% agility and 25 evasion rate for him and his allies. This is something that is, this is a buff that Yuffie does not have. I'm going to skip over to Yuffie's page for a second right here. This is not a Yuffie preview video, but Yuffie can buff both her agility and evasion, but she has to do them separately. What do I mean? Well, here's Yuffie's buffs. Let's look at her TP buff. Here, she has an agility buff. It's her and her allies, 25% agility, same as his, and 15 single target resist. That's really a great buff, right? But if she also wants to buff her evade, you have to go down into her operative sub-job, where she can buff 25 evade and drop her aggro by 4. The evade is also for her allies. So essentially, if you're looking at evade, that's 2 evasion stats and 2 buffs for Yuffie, 2 evasion stats in 1 buff for Pizarro. So that's nice. It's a nice little buff. Allows Yuffie to do other things. And if you're Yuffie, there are other things you want to do with your kit than necessarily casting both of those buffs. So I do like that for maybe some future synergy with her. Dark Matter is a colorless typeless move that decreases defense for the target by 30, does 165% damage, and then also debuffs their attack and healing power. Attack by 43%, healing power by 60. So a nice move, and it gets around if somebody's building a resist type, either elemental or attack. He does have courage he can cast on himself, so that is very nice. It upgrades to also restore 20 AP. So when he casts it, he'll get 20 AP, and he will give himself a 20% physical damage buff increase while courage is active. So the impetus here is put courage on, get some AP, and do more damage until it's popped. So I do like that. Crimson Magic Sword. This is a single target, range 3. It is no AoE on it, just one target. 200% modifier with an increased hit chance of 30, so nice little anti-evasion move right there. And then he has a barrier break that dispels courage. It's a small, medium ranged AoE, 200% damage modifier, pretty good. In his Demon King sub-job, he has 165% damage move that decreases slash resist. So definitely some PvE synergy right here, where he can decrease slash resistance for a target as well as chain a little bit. He's not going to be your best PvE unit, but that's a nice little combo to have if you're not running somebody like a Rain or something like that. Then he also has slashing. This is a big modifier move at 240, but it's a very low percent hit. It drops your accuracy by 150%, so I don't love this move because you're probably going to miss, but it does guarantee a crit. So it's a big modifier, high crit move. I don't know, you're probably not running Demon King sub, honestly, in any situation but PvE. Okay, Samurai. He has another evasion buff in Samurai, which when Samurai gets its upgrade to its job, will also give AoE resistance. So this is a really good buff someday when we get that Samurai job upgrade, which we might be getting very... Do we have it yet? Chat'll know. Dang it, I should have looked that up, my bad. Anyway, then he also has a blind move. He has an attack and crit rate move for himself if you're not running him evade, but really this is why you'd run Samurai, is that right there. Then he has Trick Lancer. This importantly gives him access to another damage type. It gives him piercing damage. And Trick Lancer is a very good piercing job. Good group buff right here with attack and crit rate. Then you have your upgraded binding throw if you run that EX job where it's range 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 range. Can immobilize, decrease healing power, hits pretty hard. Cross break, it decreases critical evasion. So this just gives you access to that second damage type if you want it. Then his limit break dispels buffs, dispels haste, dispels all barriers, 240% modifier, only single target, but this move will hit very, very hard while dispelling. So that's our guy, Pizarro right here. I don't think he's going to be meta-defining, and I think his time to shine will be later when Yuffie comes out. But if you're a fire player and you really want to play Fire Evade, here he is. Pick him up for later. His vision card's going to be really, really important. We'll talk about that next week when it comes out. But if you're ever planning on running Fire Evade or this guy, you're going to want that vision card next week. Okay, last up, we have Zoma coming out. It's a longer video because we got 3 units to talk about, but hang with me. We've got ourselves an Ice Mage. Now, he's an Ice Mage with Demon King's his job's name, but he's also a Tutor Green Mage. So 2 support sub-jobs right there, making him Velis-esque, where like Velis' main job is support, and he's the best in the game at it. Zoma's nowhere near Velis at supporting, but like Velis does some decent magic damage to back that up. Zoma's the flip of that. He's mostly a damage dealer with some weaker support to back that up. Okay. His TMR, Zoma Neck Ornament, is interesting. It's an 8 defense, 24 magic accessory. That's not bad. The buff is Pierce Strike and Missile Resist 15% in an AoE with 2 uses. I actually kind of like this. I think there's a lot of situations where this is good. Like, there's a lot of teams that run mixed damage types now. Here's 3. 15% for 3 turns, you'll take that. His master ability is a little on the weak side. It's just 10%, the 10 and 15 group buff, right? 10% HP, 50% ice attack, and then he buffs his magic by 25%. It's not bad. Magic 25% is nice, but the magic ends up being kind of his only really good stat. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to compare him to 2 other ice units, Velis and Salir. So let's take a look at their stats. All of these units at level 120 in this comparison. Their HP stats, keep in mind, are a little higher than they will be because they're all buffing each other's HP. But Zoma has considerably more HP than Velis and a lot more HP than Valentine's Day Salir. So he's got that going for him. That's a nice big stat. His magic, which he's buffing with his master ability, is 646. That is way more than either one of these two, so that's really nice. Agility, 65. That's pretty good for an ice mage. Salir's is only 57. Velis is fairly fast at 67, but 65, you'll take that, honestly. His luck at 251 is pretty good. He's only moved 3, jump 1, just like they are, but where they start to outshine him a little bit is in survivability. They both bring some defense or defense and spirit to the table. He only brings 4 defense. That's not great. Resistance wise, he's 10 to slash, 15 to missile, which is good, and 10 to magic. You can see that like Velis only weak to strike and Salir also only weak to strike. So I do think they're both a little bit more survivable in the stat blocks, but he does bring that HP to help make up for that. As far as other things, Salir comes in here with that spirit penetration, which is nice, and reaction block rate, which is nice. He's only getting that max damage down here. Velis has negative hate and cast time down, which is really nice. Okay, so not a terrible stat line for Zoma, but we definitely need to go look at his skills. He's a cost 90 unit, so it's not like he's some 70 coster who you can use on a budget team. At cost 90, I need this man to bring some heat to my group, so let's see what he's bringing. Okay, Psycho Boost. This is his personal support ability. It is 12% HP, 40 Spirit Pin. I already like this. And when conditions are met, auto cast HP recover when he drops below 50% HP. Really, really good support ability right here. More HP, so more survivability, spirit penetration, more damage, and then the self-heal is just super nice. If you then want to run him with even more survivability, I really do like Guru's Knowledge. I'll take 15 defense and spirit for only a -8 magic attack all day. I think that's a great trade-off. If you're building defense or spirit on him, I think that's wonderful. You also have access to a jump +1 with all attack resist 15% for 3 turns. There are a lot of maps where having jump +1 is massively important. Oftentimes, for a unit to get this, you have to sacrifice an item slot and run like the Tourmaline ring. Here, you don't. Not only do you get the jump +1, you also get 15% to all attack resistances for 3 turns. That's not bad. That's really pretty dang good. Then Divine Protection is debuff resistance, magic resistance 20% when Green Mage gets that upgrade, and then buff and debuff duration 1. I think your best ones are definitely this one and then one of these next 2. Some mix of that. Okay, counter moves. 30% chance to do a counter hit attack that dispels everything on the target. Really like this one. It's a 30% chance to proc, has a really long range, so access to a very, very good counter attack. He also can heal himself with a counter, or do a worse version of his better one. So you probably are running this one all of the time. Okay, his kit. It is a new kit, so let's learn this thing. His cheat move, 18 AP, is an AoE move. It's just a line-based AoE, but it's 4. It's a line of 4. 121% modifier. You can see he scales off of magic, dex, agility, and luck. This also can inflict sleep. This is, again, like, don't sleep, LOL, on this move. It's pretty good. Power of Despair is a self buff that gives him a 40% magic steroid. Again, further building on his thick magic pool. Gives him 20 accuracy and gives his moves Dispel, Shell, and Haste for 3 turns. A definite focus of this guy is dispelling buffs from the target, whether it's through his counter move, whether it's through this buff. He has a lot of ways of dispelling. Now, Power of Despair gets EX upgraded as well to also give him a physical damage shield for 3 turns. I'm sorry, this is not an upgrade to the last move. This is his other buff. This is his group buff, excuse me. Great Demon King's Majesty. This is a 35% physical damage shield. Love that. And then it gives an HP up buff to his allies. This is not something you almost ever see run in this game. There are a lot of units in the game that have access, like Paladins, have an HP and HP restore buff, where you just basically are giving your units in your group 20% more HP, but it's based off their base stats. It's not that impactful. I don't hate it in this case, because the purpose that it's filling here is like a bonus to his shield. So I kind of like it as, hey, you get a physical shield and more HP for your group. Okay, let's see if that's good or not. Then it also has a really interesting little side bonus here as well. Gives your allies decrease bravery 20 for 3 turns on a hit. So, what's a 20 bravery decrease going to do? It could mean a lot. Units who don't run max bravery are way worse than their units who do. Does it stack? If you buff your whole group and they all hit somebody, is it a 60 bravery debuff? Are we to see some frog people running around? I don't know if that's how that works. I kind of doubt it, but it would be cool if it did. It's a really interesting move. Anyway, okay, Maya had. This is a 220% modifier, so that's a big modifier. Also hits in that big diamond-shaped AoE, so I like that, with Frostbite. And then the important thing to this is not only that it inflicts Frostbite, but that it also decreases the AP of the targets by 25%. When it frostbites them. One of the, frostbite's really powerful, right? I'm not saying frostbite's bad, but it does have a drawback to it in that, like, you inflict frostbite on the enemy, but if they've already built up a little bit of AP, oftentimes, even after that frostbite ticks, they're still sitting on like 35 or 23, or enough to go hit you once, use up the remaining AP, and then they just won't generate more because frostbite keeps them at 0. In this case, if they're sitting on like 30 AP, and you smack them with this, they're going to be at like real low, and then frostbite's going to tick, and they're going to go to 0. So I think this is a very, very powerful PvP move. I think it's great. Okay, Psycho Cannon. This is a colorless magic type move. Decreases spirit for the target. Also absorbs 30% damage done. Very long range at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, and colorless is nice. Aesthetics of Death, 165% modifier, 3-hit move, so a little bit of chaining potential right here, and this guy might be a PvE ice unit. Why do I say that? This is a 3-hit move that inflicts slow. Slow is an important part of PvE, and even though magic does not chain, the ice element aspect of this will chain, and a 3-hit slowing move could be a big deal for PvE, especially if you don't have a fully built out ice PvE chaining team yet. He could be a good option for you there. Okay, his Demon King subjob does come with a single target heal, and then another damage move that hits in a nice big square in front of him with a move and a mobilized debuff attached to it. Now, he does have the Tutor subjob for one of like the best single target heals in the game, right? He also gets an AoE resist buff in there. Self-defense teaching is just really good, right? Like, increase max HP, defense buff, spirit buff, healing power up for yourself. It's an AoE, a really, really good buff right here. So I could see you running this. I could see running Tutor sub on him. It's probably a lot better than Green Mage, because Green Mage is pretty bad. So that's that. Then his Limit Break is a 100% counter chance off for 3 turns. Long range, small AoE move. Also decreases magic resist by 38% and 200% modifier. So again, another little application here potentially for PvE if you needed a magic resistance debuffer for like magic chaining. I can't see that being a thing. I don't know, you're probably PvE or limited to this right here, which is really, really good. So there we go. That's Zoma. Is he going to be super impactful? I don't think so. I don't think he or Pizarro are going to be meta-defining units. But if you are a main of that element, if you're somebody who just gets all of them, here's your chance to go collect them. I don't think they're bad. I don't think either of these units are bad. I just think they're both getting slapped in the face by the fact that Global has a 4-month preview on what's coming out. And we know we've got Full Metal Alchemist, Final Fantasy VII, whatever the Addison Rae thing's gonna be. Like, we just know so much good stuff is coming, including the next, like, Warrior of the Crystal thing at some point pretty soon. So I think they suffer from that a little bit, but you probably get some use out of, especially Pizarro here, in a Fire Evade team later, especially with his Vision card, which we'll talk about more later. Now, quickly, we do have 2 pieces of gear coming out this week as well. Pizarro's sword. It does have a crit and accuracy build, which I think are bad. You're probably just building the attack version here. 153 attack. It has slash attack 15 for everybody. It's only really good for Pizarro because it will give him 20 slash attack penetration, AP consumption down 15%, and luck 15%. So more luck, really important for that evade stat for your guy. If you're going to play him, you need this sword. It's really good for him. And then Cobalt Glove, this is the farmable piece of gear we got from the collaboration. Has a couple good versions. The magic version has this 160 magic. The accuracy version has 28 accuracy, which is a lot. I think you probably build 2 of these, one of this and one of this. It is magic attack resist penetration as the buff on it. It is for your glove using mages. Note the Full Metal Alchemist guy right here and the slime right here. And guys, that is it for this video. Holy moly, it's a 30-minute video. I probably should have broke it into 2, but once you're going, you're going. So if you watch this video the whole time, thank you. That's awesome. Appreciate you a lot. Have a great day, everybody, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.